Good afternoon and welcome to News Central TV. My name is Mazino Appeal. Now the top stories this hour. Lagos police deploy bomb squad, begin probe amid CCTV shop explosion. And Atiku, El-Rufai, others visit Buhari in Kaduna. Also coming up, polls open in Gabon in first presidential election since 2023 coup. Details coming up shortly. You're welcome again. News now at this hour begins in West Africa, Nigeria, where the Lagos Police Command has launched a full investigation into an explosion that rocked CCTV dealer's shop on Kodesho Street near Computer Village in Ikeja on Friday evening. The blast occurred at approximately 6:35 p.m., according to a statement issued by late Friday by the State Police Public Relations Officer CSP Benjamin Hundeyin. In response, operatives from the Explosive Ordnance Disposal Unit, mobile police detachments, and other conventional police teams swiftly moved in to cordon off the area, securing the scene and also ensuring public safety. According to the statement, the Commissioner of Police Olohundare Jimoh visited the site shortly after the incident for an on-the-spot assessment. He urged residents to remain calm, assuring the public that the situation is under control. The CP confirmed that the area has been declared safe and advised citizens to go about their lawful activities without fear as investigations continue. Away from that now, the former presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Atiku Abubakar, on Friday led a high-powered delegation of opposition politicians to visit former President Muhammadu Buhari at his Kaduna residence. The Abubakar entourage had former governors Nasir El-Rufai and Aminu Tambuwal of Kaduna State and Sokoto states. The former vice president did not disclose the details of the meeting's agenda and its outcome, but it has speculators raising concerns about prospects for the 2027 presidential election. He took to his verified X handle on Friday to disclose the visit, describing it as a wonderful time. A viral video of the visit shows other top-ranking politicians who also made the visit. Fresh cracks have emerged in the Labour Party just days after the caretaker committee led by former Minister Nenadi Usman convened a National Executive Council meeting in Abuja. A faction of the party is now threatened to expel its 2023 presidential candidate Peter Obi if he fails to realign with the Julius Abure-led group. Speaking at a press briefing in Abuja, the group issued a 48-hour ultimatum warning that Obi must return to the Abure camp or face what they describe as unspecified consequences.
Our papa, our mama, our pikin must be protected. We are a party that is fighting for our father, fighting for our mothers, and fighting for our children. We've been fighting this battle. We invited him to come and be a part of us, and now that he wants to destroy us, we are giving Peter Obi and his team 48 hours to go and realign with the Abure, the chairman of the party, or he will be expelled. We, the coalition of civil society groups, are asking Julius Abure to expel Peter Obi if he doesn't fall in line with the party.
Now let's head over to Port Harcourt, Nigeria's oil capital, where a crowd of women on Friday flooded the Aba Road area of the city, demanding the reinstatement of the suspended governor of Rivers State, Siminalayi Fubara, and his deputy Ngozi Odu. The protest began along the major road and advanced to the Rivers State Government House, featuring placards with bold inscriptions such as "Bring back Fubara," "Save our democracy," "Is the law different for Rivers State?" and "God of Justice, arise for Rivers State." They described themselves as wives and mothers, chanting songs of solidarity and appealing directly to President Bola Tinubu to lift the suspension on Governor Fubara and reinstate all democratic institutions in the state. Pro-transparency experts in Nigeria have called on the federal government to ensure the eradication of procurement fraud in the country in its efforts to tackle graft. This was as they converged on Abuja, saying corruption continued to pose a major challenge to Nigeria's development. The dialogue, convened by pro-transparency group, the Public and Private Development Center, had in attendance anti-corruption advocates and representatives from Nigeria's anti-corruption agencies. Our correspondent Joshua Mari here reports.
According to available data, Nigeria is estimated to have lost over $400 billion to corruption since its independence. While many believe that corruption is a hydra-headed monster that needs to be tackled, experts say it continues to be fueled by the nation's public service and is made more visible in the country's procurement process.
You and I know that the greatest challenge to the Nigerian state is corruption. And part of the corrupt loopholes, what is called generally conduit pipe in our system, is procurement, and the too much resource that goes into procurement that are not followed up through.
At this dialogue organized by Pro-Transparency Organization, the Public and Private Development Center, with several anti-corruption advocates, they say government needs to be more transparent and open in its operations. They also add that government needs to ensure that its procurement processes are more transparent.
The government owes the citizens the right to, periodically give us information as to what they're using the taxpayers' money to do. And that is why procurement processes is at the key at what CSOs are actually pursuing and activating, and advocating for government to, be more open and transparent in it, so that we can be able to know that, look, we are not duplicating projects. Government is not, implementing primary school projects in this community today, and tomorrow or next year, same project again is missing on the budget.
Others in attendance urge citizens to be more vigilant and monitor the procurement processes of public agencies. They say that with procurement processes made more transparent, citizens can track government projects.
It is time for government to take better actions. It is time for government to be proactive. It is time for government to be inclusive. It is time for government to be more transparent. It is time for government to take governance as a sense of duty and action, and also to contribute to shaping the life of our citizens and generations to come.
Nigerians must arise at this time to follow procurement specifically, because one of the greatest conduit pipe, again I maintain, the greatest conduit pipe. It is time that we follow the PPDC strategy, whatever things they put out, particularly online portal, to check what's happening, and so that we can keep asking questions. The more Nigerians ask questions, the more we can deal with procurement fraud.
Government needs to get our procurement process right. If we get procurement process right in Nigeria, issue of fraud, diversion of resources will be reduced, and citizens are empowered also to monitor whatever government is allocating to communities. It will have positive impact, because citizens will be able to monitor and track such intervention, and it will have great and positive impact on citizens.
The event was also a closeout ceremony of the Center's Citizens Engagement Initiative, where it presented its country's strategy for fighting corruption. In Abuja for News Central, I am Joshua Imarai.
The Minister of Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, has approved the revision of the terms and conditions of grants of land in the FCT, with the enforcement of the reforms commencing from April the 21st, 2025. The Senior Special Assistant to the Minister on Public Communications and Social Media, Larry Olayinka, says that the allottees have now been given a 21-day ultimatum to pay all bills. Also, the Director of Lands of the FCT, Ikeja Kinwonkweze, while adding that land allottees have now been given 2 years to develop their lands, says that a new framework has been approved for 253,000 citizens initially allotted lands by area councils to help them regularize their lands with the FCT administrator.
Before now, deadline for payment of bills, rent, fees and charges is not specified in the statutory right of occupancy bill, and no penalty for failure to make payments promptly. This has caused delay in revenue receivable due to non-collection of right of occupancy, that's RFO, and non-payment of bills. It has also caused slower pace of infrastructural development in the FCT and sustained land speculation and racketeering, while huge expenses have been incurred by the FCT through repeated advertisement and publication notifying the public on the need for collection of RFO and timely payment of bills and charges. Land allottees now have 21 days from the day of offer to make full payment of all bills, fuel, fees, rents, and charges prescribed on offer of statutory right of occupancy, and submit a duly completed letter of acceptance alongside evidence of payment or lose their offer.
You would recall that a program, an exercise to regularize land documents issued by the respective area councils began in 2006. Before then, area councils were, giving out lands, purporting them to be legal grants in the FCT. But that is not to be, because the law doesn't allow any area council to give any land anywhere in the Federal Capital Territory. The minister said, okay, bring those papers, bring the layouts, bring everything associated with them. We will regularize them to statutory titles. We have about 96.8%, 253,000 submissions are waiting to be cleared, vetted and cleared, out of the entire submission, which is 261,914. So it's an enormous task. 98%, 96.8% is a lot. But the minister has approved a framework which is believed, if implemented properly as we intend to do, will get all this cleared within 2 years.
Now, away from that, a human rights activist and the convener of Revolution Now protest, Omoyele Sowore, has continued to protest against the continuous stay in office of Kayode Egbetokun as the Inspector General of Police and called for his immediate removal. Leading a protest to the force headquarters in Abuja, Sowore said Egbetokun has to leave the office of the IGP, saying that his tenure expired in September 2024. According to Sowore, the Constitution provides that the retirement age of any civil servant is 60 years of age or 35 years of service, which he said Egbetokun has passed. Speaking on News Central's Breakfast Central, Sowore said his action is fueled by the need for fairness.
Some of you don't pay attention to this. So I've been fighting for his removal since 2024 when we had End Bad Governance protest. And Egbetokun sent the police to go and kill people and then arrested and began trying minors for treason. That was handled by the police force. People like that have no place in a sane society. People who are so callous to go and remove children from the streets of Kano, bring them to Abuja. You saw them, some of them malnourished, some of them almost dead, half dead. The other part of it has to do with fairness, that the Nigeria police force has so many officers. Over 350,000 people are in the police force. Are you telling me that out of these 350,000 people, people who have worked in different departments, training, logistics, mobile police, you can't find a person who has not retired to lead the police force?
Now let's go on a break, and when we come back, Lagos residents lament rising cost of housing. Stay tuned, we'll bring you the details when we return. And you're welcome back. Now, a group of human rights lawyers known as the Lawyers for Civil Liberties have called on Nigeria's National Judicial Council to investigate alleged constitutional violation in the appointment of the Imo State Chief Judge. They spoke to newsmen in Abuja saying that the appointment of the Imo State Acting Chief Judge violates Section 271, subsection 4 of the 1999 Constitution, and called on the state government to adhere to the rule of law and strictly obey legal provisions guiding such appointments. The group adds that breaches to laid down provisions of the law violates the sanctity of the nation's judicial process and undermines public trust in the judiciary.
After the NJC took decision against the previous chief judge, of Imo State, when issues as in regards to age falsification came up, we believe that that would be an opportunity for the state to right its steps and follow the constitutional provision. But we were surprised, and dismayed, as many other Nigerians were too, when it became very obvious that the person that the state appointed next was the fourth in line in judicial hierarchy against the extant provision of Section 271 sub 4.
We are also saying that at this point, there should be consequences for juniors that present themselves to act where their seniors are supposed to be. I do not know if it's a pattern with Imo State, that the fourth position thing, but in this case, the judiciary, the nation is watching, and we will not sit back and keep quiet while the whole scenario in Imo State makes mockery of the judiciary.
Now, an escalating crisis that is hitting close to home for millions of Lagos residents is the recent house rent inflations. Rent costs are spiraling, leaving many struggling to keep a roof over their heads. From Ikorodu to Lekki, the story is the same. Rents are rising and the pressure is mounting. Here, News Central's correspondent Bettina Nweli brings us the full report.
Lagos, Nigeria's bustling commercial capital, is no stranger to high living costs, but house rent inflation has become a growing concern. In recent months, many tenants across the city have seen rent increases ranging from 20 to 50%, with little to no improvement in housing conditions.
The high rents, you then see the agents coming to tell you that you need to pay 20% for the agent fee. Then the, what do you even call it again? They call on that one legal. They call that one to is 20%. Then they come again and tell you damage. That one, in fact, I paid 300%. That one is more than the 20% they collected for the house that I paid. So even this morning, the colleague was saying that, oh, you want to get an apartment for the brother of just a room apartment, 500K, and other charges is 500K. So it's crazy.
Right now, not even in Lagos alone, everywhere it is that bad. People complain a lot, and we hope Landlords Association can do something about it.
All those landlords of a thing, they should reduce house rent. You understand? Because not everybody could afford building houses or buying houses on their own for now. You have to stay for somebody's house.
Many people are outside that they cannot rent house because before they can find money to eat, to do other things. So that one alone is take all over the money. Before we rent house per month, maybe 1,500, 2,000, 1,800. Now when you want to rent house per month, 15,000, 10,000, even the one of 25,000. So nobody can avoid that. It's too much.
Experts attribute the inflation to a combination of factors such as rapid urbanization, a lack of affordable housing, and inflationary pressures affecting construction materials. However, the routine complaints from locals underscores the urgent need for the urgent reform in the housing sector. As the cost of living continues to rise, it is the responsibility of stakeholders to work together to ensure Lagosians are not priced out of their homes.
Most people are not earning much. The economy is not sustaining for most of the workers in Lagos. As a matter of fact, people who are even able to rent these are traded properties are people who are all working in Nigeria per se. They are working online, they are working remotely. So where are the doctors going to stay? Most of the doctors can afford monthly rents. Most of the teachers can afford monthly rents. We need the state government and the federal government to go back to providing affordable estates. They have to start building affordable estates. Right now, we are having shortage in home supply. So the government has to start building government and state, federal housing estates that will be affordable.
Housing advocates are urging the Lagos state government to take bold action, from rent control regulations to massive investment in affordable housing. Meanwhile, tenants are calling for transparency, support, and fairer policies. As Lagos continues to grow, ensuring safe and affordable shelter remains one of its most urgent challenges. In Lagos, for News Central, Bettina Nwili.
The chairman of Warri South Local Government Area, Isaac Agbateyi-Nero, has constituted a panel of inquiry to investigate the attack on Odion-Urobo community, a satellite community of Okere-Urobo Kingdom in Delta State, where several houses were razed and many people sustained injuries of varying degrees. Now, News Central's correspondent Austin Azu has more.
The Odion-Urobo community, a satellite community of Okere-Urobo Kingdom, Warri South Local Government Area of Delta State, has accused some youths suspected to be from Ishekiri of arson, claiming that their houses were burnt down, yet to be quantified property destroyed and several people injured. This attack is not unconnected to the land ownership tussle between the Shekiris and the Urobos residing in Warri.
Now they pack Shekiri people, they come trouble us. Since last year, go stop, it begin to the strong.
Now they worry we every day, they not they let we rest. Since how many weeks, night and day, where will they run anyhow?
Meanwhile, in an exclusive interview, the chairman of the local government area, Isaac Agbateyi-Nero, expressed disappointment over the attack on the Odion-Urobo community and denied allegations of involvement. He stated that a panel of inquiry has been established to probe the remote and immediate causes of the attack.
Like I told you too, we had initiated stakeholder engagement, strategic stakeholder engagement to know why. And of course, after knowing why, we're already finding solution to that. And I can assure you that by the special grace of God, this is minor. I do not want you journalists to blow it out of proportion.
Agbateyi-Nero reveals that he visited the scene 2 days after the incident to commiserate with the victims and approved financial assistance to cushion the effect of the unfortunate incident.
We have identified them, they are 4 in numbers, so we have relocated them. And they are happy with the extent to which we have relocated them. Then some of those other persons that has 1 or 2 businesses, so some few of them that has minor issues with some petty trades that they were doing there. They have told us what the skills of those businesses are, and on the basis of what they said and they wanted, we have also given them, adequately settled them. And for the long-term measures, we have directed our engineering team in the Department of Works to go and generate the relevant BOQs from that environment and see what we can speedily do to rebuild that house for the owners.
However, News Central crew visited the scene to verify the council chairman's financial assistance to the victims and displaced persons.
We call go council office go meet her, which is he call the rest people. They come together. They say they will raise up some amount of money for which to go and look for somewhere to stay first, which is 1 million naira. They say after we leave council, they say 4 days we break, we will see the money. But when they break, we will not see the money. But I believe say the next day around 12 o'clock, everybody see a lot. Only 2 people now don't complain about say like me. I don't see my own.
So since that day, I didn't even expect my money. I know the same. I don't even call my people. I don't even call my neighbor just now. But they don't see their own. They say they don't see their own. Me, I never see my houses. But I guess now they get their lot.
One of the victims, Blessing Lucky, a POS operator and business owner, says she's among those who have not received the chairman's financial assistance.
They don't my husband with the house train where he take get us now. But my own store, waiting I want to I beg, I need help, I beg. With my POS, everything he lost, the fire burn everything. The people money, Osusu money, I they do collector money. With my money now my brother carry give me, I take do the PS, everything. I don't get anything like this.
While the chairman of the local government area and other stakeholders strive to adopt strategies for sustaining the fragile peace in Warri, it is important to note that this could be achieved by fostering dialogue, promoting inclusivity, and addressing the root causes of the conflict. In Warri, for News Central, Austin Azu.
The Minister of Interior, Olubunmi Tunji-Ojo, has unveiled new expatriate administration policies, visa reforms, and other initiatives during a crucial stakeholder sensitization event in Lagos. The gathering aimed to enlighten attendees about recent changes and updates to Nigeria's expatriate administration and visa policies. These reforms are designed to promote ease of doing business and attract foreign investment, among other objectives. News Central's Igbalani Amani tells us more.
In a follow-up to the March stakeholders meeting, where a 10-member committee was formed to address challenges and propose solutions for the sector, the Minister of Interior, Olubunmi Tunji-Ojo, is here at another stakeholder meeting to sensitize the public on the new expatriate administration and visa reforms. The minister begins by outlining the changes to the expatriate quota administration.
The fact is that we're creating jobs, but a larger chunk of those jobs are not going to people. And what is the essence of quota? It is if there is no Nigerian that has the capacity to do the job, then you can bring somebody, then you will not have a Nigerian as an understudy, so that there will be knowledge transfer. But in a scenario whereby people, Nigerians in some places, are relegated perpetually to support roles, this government will not tolerate it.
He then discusses reforms for obtaining business permit and SEPAC process.
The issue of the SEPAC, don't be scared. We are not increasing your SEPAC fee. As it is today, the procedure is you have to go to a Polaris Bank to go and buy form. When you buy form, you pay the bank, you now fill, you take to SEPAC center, you now go and do this. Honestly, there's no country in this type of century that will do that. So please, end to end, your SEPAC will be filled online. Payments done online. There will be a virtual copy to your mail with a QR code and everything. And now the card will be given to you will be machine readable card. You cannot fake it.
Another key area addressed is the expatriate understudy scheme and the introduction of the e-visa system.
So we're introducing the e-visa. The e-visa is one that guarantees you visa within 48 hours to Nigeria. The bottlenecks gone. We don't want you to go and lobby anybody to come to Nigeria. You must fill the exit card online. Don't go through the line card that you are in. And that is a weapon to tackle the issue of visa overstayers.
Let you know the implementation will start on the 1st of May, but magnanimously, the Honourable Minister has also agreed that there's going to be a 3-month moratorium or amnesty for anybody that have any issue concerning these processes to rectify, to align, to be online with those processes that will set in place.
The minister notes that all these reforms will take effect from May 1st with a 3-month grace period to allow for transition. Additionally, an expatriate support desk has been set up to ensure seamless resolution of any issues. The new expatriate administration and visa reforms aims to promote transparency, accountability, and economic growth in Nigeria. In Lagos for News Central, Igbalani Omoni.
To health matters now, the United Nations Children's Fund has drawn the attention of stakeholders in Gombe State to the alarming statistics of malnourished children in the state and the dangers associated with it. Now, this was the crux of the engagement organized by the UNICEF Bauchi Field Office in Jos, Plateau State, for all the chairmen of the 11 local government areas of Gombe State. News Central's Chizoba Nyanwe tells us more.
Statistics of nutrition in Gombe State, according to the Nigeria Demographic Household Survey and a multiple indicator cluster survey, the state ranks very low in child nutrition. According to research, Nigeria currently has the highest number of malnourished children in Africa and the second highest globally, with over 9 million children suffering from wasting. Over 51% of children in Gombe State are stunted, 8.8% are wasted, and 64% of pregnant women suffer from anemia, while more than 80% of children experience food poverty in the state. This is the reason behind the intervention of UNICEF here.
This is basically to highlight the situation of malnutrition in Gombe and need to focus on investments, their funds in Gombe to address this issue of very high prevalence of malnutrition.
According to experts, if tackled now, lives will be saved against certain health-related dangers in future.
If they invest now, they will not invest in the treatment of chronic diseases like cancers, chronic diseases in future, and also the gains where the children's brains will be well developed and they can fit into the society, especially in a fast world we have now, and also contribute meaningfully to the development and economic issues that affect the state and LGA.
These are major state actors from Gombe State to chart the way forward.
We're all here because of the conducive nature of just the Plateau State. They have seen the reason, the importance of coming to solve this problem immediately. If not, in the next few years, we will not have healthy children.
These young children that are vulnerable to all these things will have supplementary food that will complement their requirement. Furthermore, mothers that most often are pregnant who are in need of attention, we will focus on them.
We have made a commitment to give the funding of our counter funding with UNICEF and the state at large, so that we can be able to get sufficient nutritious food that will go down to the grassroots.
The takeaway from this gathering is to help children survive and thrive from childhood to adolescence, and for Gombe State to support child health and nutrition, good water and sanitation, among others. In Plateau State, for News Central, Chizoba Anyomi.
What do I read? You're welcome back. Now in Gabon, voters on Saturday are heading to the polls in a pivotal presidential election, one that could mark a new chapter for the oil-rich Central African nation. 8 candidates are in the running, but all eyes are on junta leader General Brice Oligui Nguema, widely expected to secure victory and become Gabon's first elected leader since last year's military coup. Oligui seized power on August 30th, 2023, ending more than 5 decades of dynastic rule by the Bongo family, long accused of plundering the country's vast resources. Since then, he served as transitional president, forming a civilian inclusive government and steering efforts toward a new constitution. The stakes are high for Gabon's 2.3 million citizens who are voting amidst widespread unemployment, chronic power and water outages, crumbling infrastructure, and soaring national debt. Today's vote could determine whether the country continues its transition or returns to familiar patterns of rule. In Côte d'Ivoire, tensions are rising ahead of the country's presidential elections ruling for October 2025 on the 25th. On Friday, a major development unfolded as leading opposition parties announced they will withdraw from the country's election. They announced that they will withdraw from the country's electoral commission in protest, though they stopped short of boycotting the election itself. The opposition has long criticized the Independent Electoral Commission, or CEI, accusing it of lacking transparency and being too closely aligned with the ruling government. The commission, which holds 18 seats, currently include 5 opposition representatives. Among those stepping back is former President Laurent Gbagbo, His party, the PPACI, has officially suspended its participation. Gbagbo stated that his party refuses to endorse an electoral process that already bears the stigma of exclusion, fraud, and manipulation. The move underscores growing concerns about fairness, credibility, as well as the nation approaches a critical vote. I beg your pardon.
Prenant l'opinion nationale et internationale à témoin, ne saurait tolérer les nombreuses insuffisances de la CEI et son incapacité avérée à organiser des élections justes, inclusives, transparentes et crédibles. Face au refus systématique du dialogue politique pour améliorer un système décrié par tous, exception faite du parti au pouvoir qui y trouve son compte, le PDCI-RDA demande, dès cet instant, à son représentant de suspendre sa participation aux travaux de la CEI centrale jusqu'à nouvel ordre. Le PDCI-RDA, parti de dialogue, d'ouverture et de progrès, bénéficiant du soutien de ses alliés de la coalition, exige, premièrement, l'ouverture du dialogue politique de manière pressante afin d'éviter une autre crise à notre pays. Deuxièmement, la réforme de la CEI en vue de la rendre totalement indépendante. Troisièmement, l'audit du fichier électoral.
14 years after Côte d'Ivoire's deadly post-election crisis, the city has inaugurated a memorial honoring 3,000 lives lost during the 2010-2011 violence that followed the election of current President Alassane Ouattara. The memorial stands as a tribute to those who perished in one of the darkest chapters in the country's recent history. At the ceremony, Madeleine Gose, spokesperson for the victims' families, delivered a message of reconciliation. She noted that many relatives have made the difficult decision to forgive and move forward, choosing healing over division. The memorial now serves as both a symbol of loss and a step toward national unity and peace.
Nous sommes là pour nous souvenir de manière à construire ensemble l'avenir de la Côte d'Ivoire. Nous, fils et filles victimes de ces deux communes, avons pris l'initiative de pardonner et de reprendre la vie dans nos communes.
Je voudrais me tourner vers les familles des défunts pour leur réaffirmer la compassion du chef de l'État et du gouvernement et les remercier pour la dignité dont ils ont fait preuve durant toutes ces années. Quant à vous, chers frères et sœurs victimes, je sais vos peines quotidiennes et vos vies brisées. À tous, la nation vous êtes reconnaissante pour votre grandeur d'âme qui vous a permis de pardonner et de renoncer au désir de haine et de vengeance.
Je me permets ici de saluer les relations de coopération constructive entre les autorités de la Côte d'Ivoire et la Cour pénale internationale au cours des 12-13 dernières années. La Cour pénale internationale est à vos côtés, comme à celle de l'ensemble des États membres pour éviter la répétition des crimes. L'État de Côte d'Ivoire s'est engagé dans un processus visant réparation aux victimes et le fonds au profit des victimes a contribué à cet effort.
Le 25 octobre 2025 aura lieu l'élection présidentielle, un moment important dans la vie de notre pays. J'appelle tous les Ivoiriens et toutes les Ivoiriennes à maintenir le climat de paix qui prévaut aujourd'hui sur toute l'étendue du territoire national. Soyons et demeurons toutes et tous des artisans.
Now let's go on a quick break, and when we come back, more inside of News Central. Welcome back now. The Nigerian Exchange Group, PLC, has taken time to celebrate and appreciate the good works of retired directors of the NGX companies during farewell dinner, where it hosted with both private and government dignitaries. According to News Central's business correspondent Chanum Dabeng, she reports that the evening was a perfect blend of nostalgia, camaraderie, and festivity, as attendees reminisced about cherished moments, shared heartfelt tributes, and celebrated the legacies of the retired directors.
The Nigerian Exchange Group hosted a heartwarming farewell dinner to honor and celebrate the remarkable contributions of its retiring directors. The event, which held in Lagos, brought together executives, colleagues, and well-wishers to express gratitude and bid farewell to those outstanding individuals whose dedication and leadership have left indelible marks on the organization.
We gathered to pay tribute to a generation of visionary leaders who not only contributed their time, intellect, and wisdom, but also dare to reimagine what the Nigerian capital market could become. This evening is not merely a farewell, like the MC have mentioned, but it is a heartfelt salute to courage, to conviction, and to quiet strength that drives enduring transformation.
To Nigerian Stock Exchange, it's a very far cry area we're lacking in our dear country, and that is where the critical mass is. And that is what can take the statement of DGSEC to 100 trillion naira market cap to 200 trillion naira market cap that I propose from the throne. And as I'm standing in front of you here, it is very possible.
Director General of the Securities and Exchange Commission, Dr. Imomotimi Agama, took the time to praise Nigeria's federal government for signing into law the Investment and Securities Act 2025, which was signed into law by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in March of 2025.
I want to congratulate the Nigerian capital market on the passage and signing into law of the ISA 2025. My appreciation goes particularly to Mr. President and the Minister for Finance and Coordinating Minister for the Economy and the Minister for State for Finance for such a wonderful job. The ISA 2007 is long overdue for a change.
With their wealth of experience in visionary leadership, these directors have been instrumental in steering the organization towards new horizons, leaving behind a legacy of excellence and innovation. Reporting for New Central Lagos, I am Chamun Dabeng.
Nice to have all families.
Sports now. The National Sports Commission has praised Nigeria Golf Federation President Olusegun Obasanjo for advancing grassroots golf development in the country. During an event in Abuja, the NSC acknowledged Obasanjo's role in securing golf equipment from the Royal and Ancient Golf Club of St. Andrews, Scotland. The Commission highlighted the importance of such initiatives in identifying and nurturing local talents, positioning Nigeria for greater global participation and investment in golf. The NGF's efforts were described as pivotal in revitalizing the sport nationally. Obasanjo reiterated his commitment to elevating golf's profile, noting plans to sponsor promising players for international training. He also expressed optimism about building a new golf economy in Africa, projecting to generate $4 billion by 2025. And that's all the news this hour. But before we go, let's remind you some of the stories we brought your way. Lagos police deploy bomb squad, begin probe amid CCTV shop explosion, and Atiku El-Rufai others visit Buhari in Kaduna. We also told you that polls open in Gabon in first presidential election since 2023 coup. Now, do remember, you may send your eyewitness reports to the WhatsApp number on your screens now, and follow us on social media. We are at News Central TV. You can also watch News Central live on DSTV channel 422, GoTV channel 23, Star Times channel 274, Avo TV, and of course on YouTube. Many thanks for watching. My name is Mazino Appeal.